Wafula strike. You're here to support the health and well-being strategy here in Harlow today.
I'm here to support this strategy because I'm passionate about being well. I'm passionate about getting active and living active. And I've just looked at the strategy. It is really, really impressive because we, as Harlow, will now start to talk about people being well, and not just being well, living well, and even aging well, which is very important. But to me, as a Paralympian and a disabled activist and a campaigner, I'm really interested to see that people with disabilities and the elderly are able to actually access facilities where they can keep fit and train fit to exercise in a safe environment. So that is going to be key to this strategy.
So when it comes to health and well-being and accessibility for you, has life become easier or life become harder?
Life is easier and life is harder. I think as a disabled person is what I say as a disabled person. To me, life becomes really, really difficult when barriers are placed in my place and I cannot access facilities, or I cannot access trains, I cannot access toilets, I cannot access exercising facilities or venues. That is when life becomes easier. So really, when we look at human beings, it's not the fact that they're in a wheelchair or they're visually impaired. The fact is the community will disable them by not having those facilities in place for them.
And we make reference to the incident you referred to on the train. If you hadn't made such a fuss, and then not only just a fuss, but actually made a campaign, do you think those incidents would still be occurring, or maybe they are still occurring?
Those instances would still be occurring, and they are still occurring because people are still so self-obsessed, and sometimes people with disabilities are embarrassed to speak up. It's human nature to speak about glamorous things, and people are so afraid to speak of the very, very small issues that affect them. But you know what? It's those small issues that mean a lot, because these are some of the struggles that people with disabilities are suffering behind closed doors.
Something like this, when you talk about health and well-being strategies and people accessibility, and how would you judge whether something like this is a success or not?
I think we are a community that like to put things together on paper, and to me what I'm really interested in is the implementation. And once we get the implementation, then we can start to measure through success stories. And when we get people coming up and talking about this, when we have fewer numbers of people suffering from obesity, people getting more fit, people, the registration of exercising venues go high, because people are flooding, everybody wants to go out and get fit, then we know that it's working.